You've logged into the CreateSpace member dashboard, you'll go here to add new title, and that'll add the your book to your projects here. So go ahead and click on add new title, and it'll walk you through the process here. You'll need to name your project. So that's the title of your book. So for me here, it's She's Gone. It's a paperback, obviously. And then you can choose the setup process. There's guided or expert. I'm going to go ahead and go through guided. So I'll click get started on that. And then this is a more step-by-step process here. So we already have the title. Other title information needs to be entered here. So like my name. You can add contributors if you have any. Series title. If your book is part of a series, you want to include that here. Mine is. So I'm going to go ahead and check this. And I'll just put here the Pete Maddox series. Volume, this is book number 2, so I'll go ahead and put volume 2. Leave the edition number blank. And then we can go ahead and move to the next step here. Click Save and Continue. Next process here is the ISBN. You can use CreateSpace assigned one. You can choose a custom ISBN for $10. There's also an option for this universal ISBN for $99. Or if you already own your own block of ISBN numbers from Bowker, you can go ahead and use that too. I am going to use the custom ISBN numbers here for $10, so I can set my own imprint as publisher. So I'm going to go ahead and check on that. Then you need to log in with your myidentifiers.com information. So I did that. I'll go ahead and select my imprint here. It'll pull that information directly from Bowker's. And once that's done, we need to go ahead and pay for the ISBN. So I'll go ahead and click check out, and I'll confirm the order for $10 for that ISBN. So I'll go ahead and click on that. I'll just charge my credit card. It'll take a few seconds, and that's it. So my credit card has been charged. I have purchased the custom ISBN for my book. So click on Return to Setup, and we can go on with the process. It'll show you here your ISBN number. This is locked. It cannot be changed, so you're stuck with it once you order it. And so everything looks good here, so go ahead and continue with the setup process. And so now we need to set up the interior file. You have black and white and full color for options for fiction. So for my book here, usually you're using black and white. For the paper color, you have the option of white or cream. I'm going to go ahead and select cream, which is the more standard for fiction. This is what traditional imprints usually use cream. It's easier on the eyes. So I'll go ahead and select cream. Trim size, the default is 6:9. You have a lot of different options, though. You don't have to go by the default. If you have any questions on what a trim size is or on anything really, you can click on the links that CreateSpace provides. It'll have explanation for you. I'm going to go ahead and click on choose a different size because I had mine formatted for 5.5 by 8.5. But as you can see here, there's lots of different sizes, tons of options for you. But in my case, I'm selecting the 5.5 by 8.5 trim size. So I'll go ahead and click on that. And so that's all set there. Next is setting up the interior file. Go ahead and either upload it if you already have it, if you already received it from your formatter, or you can also have CreateSpace do it for you. They start at $1.99. That's an option for you. I had mine done by somebody else outside CreateSpace, and so you'll need a PDF or a doc file or an RTF file. So if you have that on your computer, like I do, just go ahead and browse for it. Select it, and there it is. The bleed, the default is this ends before the edge of the page, so I'm just going to leave that as is. And then I am going to leave the Run Automated Print checked. That way, if there's any problems with the formatting, you will know. They will let you know. So go ahead and click Save. It's uploading now the interior file. Depending on how big your manuscript is and your internet connection, it might take a few minutes. So here it says it's processing. While it's processing, you can go ahead and click to work on your book cover if you want, if you don't want to sit around and wait. It doesn't take that long. It just takes a minute or so. But here is my cover, my book cover. It needs to be in a PDF form, and I received this from a book designer. As you can see, it's got the barcode space already set up. It's got the spine. Everything's ready to go to wrap around for the paperback. And your book designer will know how to do this. If they know how to format for CreateSpace, they'll just send you this PDF file like my book designer did. So I have that set. I'm going to go ahead and select for the finish of the book cover. I'm going to select the glossy. You can have a matte or a glossy. I'm going to go ahead and go with glossy. So select that. You do have other options here. You can use CreateSpace's templates, which in my opinion isn't very professional. You can have a professional cover designed by CreateSpace themselves. They start at $399. Or if you used another designer, you can then, and you already have the PDF cover ready to go, you can just use that. And that's exactly what I'm going to do here. I already have my PDF cover like I showed you, so I'll click on Upload, browse to my computer so I can grab it. And there it is. There's the PDF that I showed you. And I'll go ahead and click on Save. All right, so now as you can see here, it's uploading and it doesn't take very long. All right, so there we go. Cover finished glossy, upload complete. You can always make changes from here if you grab the wrong file or something. It also walks you through the steps here, as you can see, so you can kind of have like a checklist going. So everything looks good. Go ahead and click on continue. And here's the interior reviewer, so you can check for any issues in your file. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on that. And there it is. It takes you to this really handy tool here that CreateSpace provides, so you can check your file. It did found an issue with my manuscript, something about an image isn't at least 300 dpi. And it tells you where the problem is. So I have one problem, but it's not really a problem. They just don't like the image that my image here is 200 dpi, and they prefer 300 dpi. But this is just my little logo that I have in my front matter, so I'm not going to worry about it. So from here, just go continue checking. Make sure it looks good. Make sure the formatting of the font is good. You want to make sure that, for example, it'll be loading here. It might take a while, a few seconds for everything to load. But anyway, you want to check everything. You want to make sure it looks good. You want to make sure that the text is within the lines. As you can see, there's dotted lines around the edges here. You want to make sure that your text is within those lines, because that's what's going to actually be printed. So from here, basically we're just checking the file, make sure everything's looks good. Here on top, it'll tell you what page you're in and how many pages in your manuscript, the trim information. You can go direct to a page. You can measure up here on this handy toolbar, this ruler bar. I like to look at it from this catalog view. It shows you the entire files laid out easily like this. So it's a good way to take a quick glance at it. You can click on any one that you want if you want to go direct to it. Here, I'll show you that. Let me just click here on page 272, and as you can see, boom, it goes right there. And then you just continue checking. If everything looks good, for me it looks good here. I'm ready to move to the next stage, the next step here. I'll go ahead and click Save and Continue. I don't have any changes right now. And it's saving it. And I'm not going to worry about that issue that CreateSpace found, that image issue, because this, like I said, it's just my logo. It's no big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and ignore issue and continue. And that's it. You can still go ahead and make changes here if needed. Here it's showing you all the steps. So the cover step is complete now. So go ahead and click on continue. And there's everything. You can still, from this stage, you can still edit everything except the ISBN number. That's locked in. but you can go ahead and still edit things if need be. But everything looks good to me, so I'm going to go ahead and submit these files for review. And the way it works, once you submit it for review, it takes about 24 hours to hear back from CreateSpace. So I'm going to go ahead and click Submit Files for Review. And as you can see, it's now being submitted. Once that's done, we can, we'll get this message here saying that they received it, and we'll hear back from us in around 24 hours. But while we're waiting to hear back from CreateSpace, we can go ahead and set up our distribution channels. So it's already selected for Amazon.com, Amazon Europe, and CreateSpace's eStore. But you also have the option for expanded distribution. It's free, so why not do it? You get CreateSpace Direct, and you also get access to bookstores and online retailers, so it's worth it. It does take 6 to 8 weeks to appear in expanded distribution channels. The only thing we don't have the only thing we're not eligible for is this libraries and academic institutions. I don't worry about that. If you want more information about it, you can click what's required. If you want to get into libraries and academic institutions, I'm not interested in that. So I'll go ahead and click Save and Continue. And finally, here we need to set up our list price. This is pretty neat. Whatever we put here on list price, there is a minimum that CreateSpace allows us to charge, that requires us to charge. So for me, it's $10.58. Now, whatever I put on here, like $12.95, for example, I'll click on this calculate, and it will show me the royalty. It will calculate the royalty that I would earn. As you can see there, it does it for you, so you can get an idea of how much you're going to get paid. So you can go ahead and set your price here. Just make sure you can't go underneath the minimum list price. In my case, it's $10.58. It might be different for you. And so that is it. The final section here, the setup is complete, but the final section here now is for the description. Basically your book blurb. You need to set a bisect category for your book. And then there's an additional information section, which is optional. This area includes the search keywords, which are very, very important. So I would do this even though it's optional. And then, okay, so let's go ahead and do this. I'm going to go ahead and I just put in my description for my book blurb. And then the category. You have lots of options here. So, of course, I want to go for the fiction. And then there's subcategories that you can select from there. So just select the codes that fit for your book. So once that's done, then you can move on to the additional information. For author biography, just keep it simple. Language is English, and then search keywords. So you should have these already. You should do your research beforehand, and you should have your search keywords in here. So once everything is set, if it contains adult content or large print, you can do that. I'll leave that blank. Save and continue. Now I got a little too greedy. I have too many keywords, so I need to fix that. So I had to remove a couple keywords. And that is it now. Everything, as you can see, everything is green. Everything has been set up. The final step here is this publish on Kindle, but I already did that separately. My book's already been on Kindle for a couple weeks, so I don't do that from here. So that is it. So now we're just waiting to hear back from CreateSpace. And as you can see, my new title is added and the status is in process.